Hi, in this video, we will see how to explore your data with using Amazon Athena. So here we will have the AWS Data Catalog table, which we have seen in my previous video, like how that data table got created and it has loaded with the data. Now time has come to explore this data or get the insight of out of that data with using Amazon Athena. So here we will see that we will have an example S3 bucket which will be used by Amazon Athena as a the query execution space. And then what we do is we're going to build a connection. Basically it will be there by default, the connection between AWS Glue data catalog table and Amazon Athena. So in the sense, as soon as the table gets created in the AWS Glue data catalog, on that table the Amazon Athena is ready to be used for exploring your data. So in this video we will see how we can do that, and I'm going to take you to a certain extents of data exploration, data refinement, and finally doing a certain analytics queries on that data. All right, now as you see, I'm in currently in AWS Glue in the Oregon region, where we have seen like how to create the data catalog table with using the crawler in the last video. If you have not seen, go and see that. Right, so if I go to the data catalog and click on a table, so currently I have a 4 table. So in that one, the taxi zone lookup and the yellow trip data is the table where we are interested all about. Now what I do is I'm going to go to the another tab. So if you see here, so this is the Athena, again belongs to the Oregon region. So here what we do is we're going to run the query with using the worker group, that is primary. So for that case, I'm going to go to the primary work group and go to the edit here. So why we need to do this? Because so whenever you want to use a particular work group in the Athena, you have to point it to a particular work group, and work group has to be configured properly. So for that case, I'm going to go to the the query setting, that is query result configuration. So here I'm going to browse it to the S3 bucket, which is I dedicatedly created for Athena executions. So here if I go to the if I search this bucket name like Athena, so this is the bucket which we created for Athena. So I'm going to select it for now. So we're going to put it like /, right? And this is the expected bucket owner. So this is the current owner. That's optional. Rest all option, I'm going to keep it default, right? And we just go to and save the changes. Once the save changes is done, what does that mean is basically you can elevate primary group in the Athena query. So we go to the query editor here. So this is how you're going to do it here. And then in the work group option, you choose the work group which you have edited. Yeah, and then so if you see here, there are data sources. So nothing but from where the table is coming. So currently it is coming from data catalog, that is AWS data catalog under Glue services. And in that one databases, so there are default and the one custom database is there. So I'm going to go to the default database, and that's where the table is being showing here. Now this table is ready. What you can do is you can directly go ahead and do a preview table. So once you click on a preview table, what you happens is so it will show you the data of that particular, in the sense, if you have seen my last video where I have shown you like how to crawl the data from S3 bucket into the Amazon data catalog table, right? So which in the S3 bucket we had a CSV file, which is a raw file. The same data is now uploaded into the in the form of a table. If you see here, so this is what I'm getting for the taxi underscore zone lookup table. Now if I do same thing for preview for the yellow the yellow trip data as well, we should be able to see the top 10, so top 10 something. So this is related to network, so you can always retry here. So it's nothing to do with the something. So here if you see here right now, it is yeah, it is failing for some reason. So but actually yeah, actually the data would look something similar to the whatever we have seen here, in the sense, so whatever we have explored for this table, it will be same for the yellow trip data. Okay, so after the expanding this particular table, and I reran the same query which was failing earlier. Now it is showing us the data. That is, if you see here, so this is like a exact data that was present in the CSV file. We crawled it and put it in the table format, right? So this is exactly something similar. Now what I do is we're gonna go to a one step ahead and try to try to modify this particular table. So if I go to the taxi zone lookup, right? So go back to the taxi zone lookup, the output. So if you see the output, it contains double quotes, right? So which is not expected in the SQL data store. So what we do is we're going to do certain things, certain configurations in a such a way that it will ignore the CSV related informations and give us the clean data. So that is what I'm going to show you in the next bit of time. Yeah. Okay, so there was a problem in the data that is present in the taxi zone lookup. So if I go back to the query, so currently in the taxi zone lookup data, if I run it again, so that data contains the unwanted characters across the values, right? So let's remove that by using table edit. So if I go to this particular table, click on this one, you can click on like that, and then there are action in the top right side. You can do a edit table. So here serialization, so it is currently lazy simple Saturday, so that is a serialization. So what I do is, I'm gonna make a certain changes, serialize library to a CSV, and we gonna add the Saturday parameters, which will enhance the data quality. Let's see how to do that. Okay, so as you see here, I have changed the serialization library to open CSV Saturday, and in the Saturday parameters, we have added escape character equal to backward slash, code character equal to double slash, and the separate character equal to CSV, indeed, because it is CSV format. Now what I do is, I'm going to go to the save button, and we're going to save it. What does that matter? In the sense, it will edit the data format that is present on this particular table. Now we go back to the table query. So we are in the Athena again, and we go back to the taxi zone lookup table where we see this one inconvenience. So let me run it again. Let's see what do we see now, right? Here you go, right? So it has refined the data, in the sense it has removed that double quotes that was present in the CSV file. Okay, that is what we wanted to show you now. What we do is, in the next couple of seconds, we're going to see certain enhanced queries that you can run it from the Athena queries, which is a SQL queries, and we do see the certain results. Okay, so as you see here, we have refined the complete table, very good, in a very good shape actually. In this is data quality is very high now. We run certain SQL queries. So let me copy some example query which I got from the internet. So something like this. So I go ahead and try to run this SQL query. So if you run this one, so this is very, kind of a moderate, level, very good SQL queries that we are running. Remember that. So this SQL query is being ran on the, on the on the my basically on the raw data. So it was, we are actually able to run the SQL query on the raw data that was present in a CSV, which was very difficult, by the way. So if you see here, we are running, so this is basically yellow trip data. So I'm gonna go to the we're gonna, so this is not the right table basically. So let me trim it off like this and try to run it. Let's see what does it actually produces. Okay, so if you go here, so this is what the result I'm getting, right? So this one we ran it on the yellow trip data table. Likewise, you can keep on running the other tables as well. So for example, say let's go to the another query. So I got some example query which I'm converting into the form of my my table, right? So likewise, I can run the another query for the demo purpose. So here, make sure to change it to the right table that is present here in the tables in list. Right now, what we are doing is we are running another extended complex query, and that is counting the vendor IDs, right? And then from the yellow trip data, if you see here, so these are all the vendor IDs are been calculated. So likewise, you can keep on running these SQL query, on your set of data. So that is the basically, is kind of an advantage of the, the Athena, that you can elevate on the raw data. Right. So finally, what I do is, before I conclude, I would like to run the last query of this particular page. That is looks to be bit complex one. So let me run it something like this. Remember that this is something like, it's basically a job of so it's basically job of the the analytics person, or maybe I don't know, somebody from the very analytics team. So they would be using here. So let me look at the query here. So basically we have a taxi zone lookup. So taxi zone lookup is there, and then the taxi zone lookup is there. So I'm not sure this query will run. So but again, let me run it quickly. If it gives the results, looks like query is running, and query should be correct. So if you see here, so this has written something. So basically from these tables, it is actually doing a certain SQL calculation, and printing us the count, right? So count of something, right? So basically vendor IDs. All right, so with that note, I have shown you the things need to be shown in this video, particularly on exploring your data with using Amazon Athena. All right, so finally, a kind request, please do subscribe my channel. That would really encourage me a lot. With that note, thank you. Thanks a lot, and see you in the next video.